Happy Friday. All right, what are we listening to today? Maybe some chill guitar music. How's everyone doing? Hello, hello. We're just chilling. I forgot to refill my water. We're getting started at a reasonable time today. But I do have to end early. So rip my attempt at doing a 3-hour stream at any point this week. Maybe tomorrow, maybe Saturday. We can actually get the proper 3-hour stream, which we're supposed to be doing every day, but which oftentimes doesn't happen due to scheduling issues. So let's make the most of the time that we got, which is like the next couple of hours here. Hope everyone's had a great week, and I hope you're going to have an even better weekend. All right, we're still auto-tiling. Always be auto-tiling. ABA, ABBA. I'm pretty pleased with our progress on our overlay system. And this kind of overlay system, I think, is kind of gonna allow us to do a lot of interesting things. We could do a lot of stuff with an overlay system like this. For now, we're just using it to mark out people's selection boxes. So like click, drag, selection stuff. Like, everyone knows what I'm talking about when I say that, I think. I was about to like explain it, but I don't think I need to. It works pretty well. It doesn't work in every case. We're seeing a lot of issues around some of our placement logic, which we need to clean up. It's inconsistent to me. Like, we can select this area here, but if there's nothing to render over, it doesn't show anything, which maybe we need to change how that works as well. Oh, here's an interesting spot. There's a black outline here, but there's no corresponding white outline. I probably want to change the rules then. So that's for a right angle where a floor hits. So we would look at side of view, you're saying. So we can say that. So if there's a tile next to you, but... Oh, do we need to check like a... I want to look at how we're evaluating this logic in the regular autotiler. I need to make a better distinction than the regular autotiler versus the selection. I kind of refer to them as the hull and the grid. The hull is like the actual pieces of the wall and the floor and all that stuff, and then the grid is like the selection overlay. Oh yeah, we also need to add support for doors today. All right, so how does this work? So when we have our deck, we ask... So we try to get the value of our adjacent up, adjacent down, and adjacent forward. Up, down, forward. That would be for an X, that means the Y coordinate boxes. So why does that result in... So that results in, if I have this little piece sticking out, you can see the black outlines here at the joint. I want to have that joint in the selection, but it's not. Interesting. But I don't feel like we're doing anything fancy here. So there's a we're applying a +1. So basically for the x-axis, if we add +1 to the atlas chords, we remove the right wall. And if we add +2, we remove the left wall. So we're removing the right wall in a situation where I don't want that to happen. So here, the right wall, I said that was x + 1. So here. So all we're doing here is, are we checking the negative? This is wild. Somehow we're getting the correct behavior, but reading this doesn't explain to me how. Because we shouldn't be getting the correct behavior, because basically as long as there's a block on our side, on the tile's left side, it is removing that wall. But that's not what I'm seeing when I actually run the game. When I run the game, I'm throwing this block down here. Oh, I see. Because when you place this, if you actually look, if you use the cutaway system to look at what's going on here, that actually isn't the same hull. It's a middle hull. It's that dark gray bit. So that's being treated as a joint. Oh, that's why we're able to do that. Excuse me. I'm sorry. It seems like I'm allergic to streaming because I don't have any bad allergies, and then as soon as I start the stream, I start sneezing. All right, so mystery resolved there. We're using the different hull types as a way of defining it. But down here, we're not looking at hull types at all, which is maybe part of our problem. We might need to just live with that for now, because changing that would actually be kind of a pain in the butt. So let's work on a problem that's actually a problem. Let's work on the tool system stuff, because we have some bad stuff going on in the tool system, which is already a mess, and I want to refactor it. So our problems are occurring here in the hover, and it's also occurring in the begin placement. So let's try to more concretely understand what's happening here. So when we place a block like this hover thing runs around, right? This hover thing kind of travels around. It kind of shows us a preview of what it would be like if you place a block here. And it's a little messy because this block is actually, for all intents and purposes, being placed. It's being recorded because it's really hard to have like a separate preview block thing. So for the sake of the autotiler, it's just, we're placing this block, and every time we move it, we're removing it from there and moving it here, right? So it's like, it's both temporary and permanent, really. It's being placed, but it's also being moved around a lot. And the problem is when we switch to selection, it's not cleaning that up, but that's relatively easy. I also want, do you see how I can be outside the selection here and then inside the selection here? I kind of want to show the selection. I'm actually not sure if I want to show the selection where there's no blocks. Maybe you just can't select an empty block. But let's worry about that second. So what we need to do here is when we begin a selection, we actually need to clean up. So reveal block at prior coords, buffer. This should be working. This should be doing something for us here. Is that not how I do that up here? Reveal block at. This should be doing something for us. Let's see if we're ever even running this. Yeah, we are. So why? Where are my prior coords at? Ah, I see exactly what's happening. We're still calling a place block at, which we should not be doing. We need to be calling place. Oh, we don't have a selection version of this. We should be doing select only active blocks, but I could probably just have a select block at function, but I don't actually want to do that. Hey, Fusionist. How's it going? Happy Friday. Good the usual. How am I? I'm all right. Got a bit of a tickle in my throat. So if I am muting a lot, that's probably why. My partner was just sick, so hopefully it's not coming for me as well. But I really don't get sick. And if I get sick, it's for like one day, so we'll see. At least it's Friday. All right, so what we're doing right now... Good luck with that. Yeah, thank you. I'll make some tea in a little bit. Right now we're cleaning up some stuff we're noticing with the selector autotiler, the selection box autotiler. If we do this and we do that, okay, that works now, ostensibly. Okay, we fixed a number of things. We fixed the hover block not disappearing. It looks like we are now selecting whole rectangles. I don't totally like this selecting outside the bounds thing. I think I want to do something about this. I either want to show the area you've selected in between solid spaces, in between, like I want to either cast the overlay over this empty space, or I want to clamp it to blocks that are not empty. I don't know if the clamping it to blocks that are not empty is viable, because like here's an idea. What if there's someone like outside the ship, like they're just outside of an airlock and they're like floating in space? You might need to select them. Like they've got a little jetpack and they're gonna like, I don't know, they're doing whatever. There might not be anything to select there. I mean, I guess there's a person there, so you could. So the block isn't technically empty, it just doesn't have any material, other stuff in it. Okay, here's something that I don't understand how this is currently working. I'm changing selection blocks. This shouldn't work this way. I don't totally understand what just happened there in the corner here. Why is this only happening when I do like this? It should always be a rectangle, and in some cases it's missing some of the corners. Okay, I can't consistently get it to do that. It happens there a little bit. What shouldn't be happening, though, is like, it shouldn't be forgetting this. Like what blocks are in the selection. And yet it seems to be. So it seems like we're not totally setting this correctly. Like this selection thing, I do want it to behave like this, but as far as I can tell, I don't have any code that is making this happen. Like you should only be able to add to the selection at the moment. Like it shouldn't be resetting like this, and yet visually it is. I don't know if it's actually doing that under the hood. My inclination is that it is. Probably has something to do with the hidden block dictionary. I also don't love that the corners are still getting clipped a little bit sometimes. I don't totally understand what's causing that, especially because it's not happening all the time. So we gotta clean this up a little bit. But otherwise, I'm very pleased with it. Like, if we just add a bunch of walls here, too, it'll work. It should work just fine. I'm very pleased with this in general. And the transparency is working great because you can still see the effect of the cutaway. This is not exactly how it should work. Because, like, this block I'm placing, it's not correctly merging the selection with it. But it does that if I'm down here for some reason. So if I do the same thing down here, and so now I'm down here, and I'm doing a selection. So let's make some tiles here. Let's just make some random bullshit and then just start selecting. Let's select a bunch of this. So only if what if I do a multi-level selection like this? So now, nope. So sometimes this works and sometimes it doesn't, and I totally don't understand. Like placing this block around here, it should be within the selection, so it should show the overlay, but it's not. So we gotta work on that too. So it just, some of the block forms are being overwritten, and that's something we can work on. But otherwise, I'm very pleased with this. All right, so the thing I care about right now is why placement doesn't respect selection. Like when we place a new block, it's not respecting the fact that that block is already selected. Always. Sometimes, but not always. And that is curious. It's probably a merge block problem, is probably what it is. So we have this merge block function that handles the way conflicting blocks combine together. And I probably just haven't rewritten this correctly. So we have a new function we can use called remove forms. So we should probably use that a little more. Like here, you can return a new block. It's the combination of the existing and the incoming forms. It uses the incoming face and the existing part. The face is like... I can explain the face later, but the part is the partition, which is like, what compartment are you a part of? And so that's already been calculated, so we'll just carry that over. The incoming face overwrites the old face, but then the forms converge. But they don't just converge, because if you're placing a deck, you want to remove the bulk and the door that may be there. So we create this new block, and then we remove the forms from the block that we don't want. And so we probably need to do something like that here for the rest of these shapes. That's probably where this problem is. So like if we're placing an incoming bulk, right now we're doing a check of whether they have a door. So if we're placing a bulk and they do have a door, kind of weird, this existing form and the deck or the incoming form. So what are we doing? We're trying to enforce the fact that there's a deck board here. This doesn't sound correct. Why do I do this? So if I have a wall, if I'm trying to place a wall and there's already a door, we take whatever's already here, we and a floor. It's a little weird. If we've got both, we return incoming with, here's the problem. I don't totally understand the justification for doing this. Let me play it out and maybe I'll understand it in my head if I see it. If I see it being done. So we've got this. Let's place a door. Here's something that's a problem that we need to work on. You can't see a door that you place if the door position is invalid. It doesn't show anything because it doesn't know how to handle it. We need to create an invalid door sprite that can be used. It would just be like a regular door sprite, but it would be like colored as invalid or something. We need some kind of invalid block. So here we have a door. So if I try to place a block here, I don't understand that restriction. I'm going to get rid of that restriction because I don't understand it. So instead, we're going to basically say return new block existing.form or incoming.form, incoming face, existing part, dot remove forms, block dot forms dot door. So we'll just overwrite the door is what we'll do. And that should replace this. That should be fine. And then what we need to do is we need to handle the both situation, which is terrible. But both basically just means deck and bulk. So instead of return incoming, this is the problem. If you just return incoming, you are completely ignoring the state of the existing block, which we cannot. In this case, we just need to return new block existing.form or incoming.form. Combine the forms. Incoming. Dot face. Existing part. We want to do the same thing here where we want to remove any doors that we have. So these cases could be merged at the moment. I don't think that's going to continue to be the case. Maybe it will eventually. We can just do it like this for now. In fact, I don't even think the check for both is valid. Case block.forms.door. We can't support this yet, but... Oh, here we go. We've got case like for deck or door. Here's something interesting. So if we have case... I don't totally understand how the switch case interprets this. So we check incoming form. If incoming form... Oh, it's doing a total... This is like a logical comparison. So it's going to look at the form, and if the form is exactly only a door, it will do this. But if it's a door with a deck, it will do this. Okay, I see. I see how this works now. We also have an erase block function. I feel like that also needs to respect the selection. That's a problem. We can fix that later. We're gonna definitely run into problems with that. We should probably fix it now, honestly. So if you're trying to replace, I don't know if I like existing and incoming or current and active. I think I like existing and incoming. Or incumbent and incoming or something like that. Incumbent. I don't know if I like that. I think those words are too similar. We could say existent, but I think I'd rather just keep it simple. Existing, the existing block and the incoming block. I think I prefer that to current and active. It's a little weird because our eraser block can tell what the eraser is. Like, we have different forms of erasers, and they behave a little weirdly. I don't love that. This is also how you remove a block or remove a form from a block. You do this weird negation. You do this double negation thing where you like flip it or it, and then you flip the whole thing. Super weird, but it works. This is like the bitwise operation you have to like, it's not a toggle. It's like guarantee that this form is not present, but all existing forms are present. So you negate the existing form, you add the form you don't want, and then you flip the whole thing again. And that gives you the existing form, but you're guaranteed to not have this one. Kind of weird, but it kind of works. It just looks weird, so I don't usually use this syntax anymore. Like, I would probably instead use return new block. Actually, it would be return existing dot remove forms block dot forms dot bulk. That's equivalent. So that's better. So now you just return, so that's safe. This one, return existing with, this is you take out the bulk and the door. Okay. Yeah, how does this case ever go through? Because this will not, if there's a floor and there's a door, this case won't be hit. You would need a separate case. Super weird. I don't totally understand how the bit flags interact with the switch function. I should probably experiment and double check how that works. So what we need to do, though, is if we're trying to replace this with an empty block, I think we still want to retain the selection. So we would say return incoming. We would say return. Could we just have an add form? It could be return incoming with it could be return incoming with form equals existing dot form. That actually isn't going to work. Oh, I got someone to ban. Hold on, let me do this real quickly here. Ban at wide. Oh. Got a spam bot to ban. 1 second. Gotta load the photon torpedo tubes here. Alright, see ya, Space Cowboy. Got him. Alright, so we want to just use only the incoming form, but if there is a selection, we want to include that as well. Ah, I know how we do this. So we say incoming with form equals incoming dot form, or bitwise or existing dot form and block.forms.select. So only if we've already selected this block will we include this. There we go. That's easy. Similar, we would say block.empty with form equals existing dot. Well, hold on. No, this is gonna put all the existing form pieces in. Okay, I need a way to add a select block only if the existing form dot has a select block. I don't want to do a check, but that's probably the easiest way to do it. Yeah, the easiest way to do it is probably just this. Return existing dot has block dot forms dot select. If it has have a select, you return incoming with form equals incoming dot form or block dot forms dot select. Otherwise, you just, yeah. All right, that's easy. That's the easy way to do it. Similarly, we do the same thing here. We say existing dot has. There's probably a better way to do this, but this works okay for now. Block dot empty with form block dot forms dot select or that should be fine. And then I'm not 100% sure on this case, but we know how to formulate this case. I just don't think this case is valid. This is how you would formulate it if it was valid. Expecting a package, so I'm just keeping an eye out for this. They added a new gate to my building a couple days ago, but there's no electronics hooked up to it yet, so it's just this iron gate that nobody can get through. I'm having to be very attentive about things like deliveries and stuff right now. Can't just buzz someone in. All right. Convert switch statement to switch expression. I haven't used switch expressions very much. Do I like switch expressions better? I guess I do. Block.forms.bulk or block.forms.both. Oh, you can use the syntactical, like just the plain English or. Can I use that everywhere? Or only in... Oh, I can only use in that expression. Oh, I like that, though. All right, switch expressions are cool. What does it look like if I turn this into a switch expression? It's kind of dense, but it's pretty cool. Okay, I'm down. Makes it look a little more like a match statement, like a GD script match statement, and I kind of like that. Return incoming.forms switch. Yeah, I like that. Hey, Rhiannon Journey, happy Friday. How are you doing? All right, so that should have fixed the whole place a block within a selection problem. That should have fixed a bunch of stuff. So if I select this and then I start trying to place blocks in here, yeah, okay. They're being placed within the selection. That's what we want to see. Now, okay, so now additive selection thing. Oh, it's still not totally right. I don't totally understand how the selection... Like, this is the behavior I want, mostly. But I'm not doing anything in the code to make this happen. The fact that, like, when you start making a new selection, the old selection goes away. I can't explain why that's happening right now. Or why sometimes it doesn't happen. Like, when I did this, and then I did another selection the first time, it didn't go away. I'm good, thanks. I feel like we got good momentum going right now on the selection stuff, so I'm just happy to be working on it. What if we make this 3 layers? We're just going through all the different auto-tiling rules for the selection stuff and making sure it's all behaving the way we want it to. Especially for multi-layer selections and stuff like that. We're just tightening up some stuff. Like, this is weird. It seems to be mostly working. It even seems to be working for cutaways, which is incredible. Oh, it's because we are not considering... Yeah, I actually really like this. Oh, I see a couple of errors. So sometimes we refer to the block and sometimes we're always referring to the block. So why is this interesting? We're seeing some cool behavior that again I don't understand. But it's okay. I see a couple blind spots here where we're not doing the correct auto-tiling thing, but only when we're doing cutaways. Like here, some of this line work stuff should be looking different. So we just need to double check some of the behavior. I think cutaway needs to work a little differently. I think eventually I want this cutaway system to be room-based, so that when you mouse into a room, the whole room opens up, and it just stays open. Ooh. Some weird stuff going on. It's really hard for me to point out exactly where the weird stuff is, because if I try to mouse over it, it goes away. But that's fine. Let's stay focused on what we're actually trying to do, which is still mostly to do with the selection stuff. You like this a lot? Looks a lot cleaner than the other options. Yeah, I like this a lot. I also do. It looks pretty intuitive compared to what we had going on before. It's not perfect by any means. Like, this is unfortunate what's happening here, but I might change the way these wall tiles work. That's fine. This selection stuff is not meant to be permanent. It's only going to stick around like this when you're in edit mode, so that you can see, like, if I click this and I click drag, I want to be able to drag that whole area. Like, if we have a selection, I want to be able to click drag and move the whole selection. But when we're playing the game, you're not going to see this. You'll make the selection, and then this grid will go away, and all that will be left will be the few things that you can select, and they'll have their outlines. So we don't need to be too crazy about this. All right, so what was the thing that was bothering me? I can change the name, the way this works now. Return block.remove forms. Instead of this block width syntax stuff, we can do block.remove forms, block.forms.select. It's better. Do I want to try a tiny puzzle game? Do you have a new jam game, Aria? I could take a look. It's a pretty quiet day today. Nice. Yeah, hit me with a link. We could take a look at it. I'm garbage at puzzle games. I'm playing the Blueprints right now. And I'm enjoying it, but I never play games like that, and it's a struggle. All right, let me pause the music here. Balance. Check comments if you're bad at puzzles might motivate me. This made me feel smart. Okay. All right. So hold on. We got to do a quick sound check here, because the sound may or may not render correctly. Okay, here we go. We should have sound now. It's probably gonna be kind of quiet, but it's nice. It's like haunting piano. Oh my god. How many levels did you make? These must be generated. You didn't make... I'm waiting till I get to the end. I'm going to keep doing this until I get to the end. There is no end. Yeah, just a tiny puzzle game. Yeah, exactly, Rhiannon. All right, we're going back. You make infinite games? You clearly do. Okay. Are these always the same, or are they being? It's probably seeded or something, right? So level 43 will always be level 43. Otherwise, I don't see why you would lay them out this way. Same, yeah. Okay, cool. All right. Well, I love the UI juice already. It's pretty great. The little sounds and this stuff. All right, controls. Left click to cycle through icons. Right click to remove symbols. All right, we'll wait for it to come back around. Here we go. Click retry or next below to reset. Or go to next level. Puzzle rules. Fill the grid. Each row and column must contain exactly 3 suns and 3 moons. The fact that this goes back and forth automatically is pretty funny. No 3 suns or 3 moons can appear consecutively in any row or column. Okay, so I need 3 of each, but they cannot be consecutive. So it can't be like 3 moons then 3 suns. Okay, so you got kind of like a symbol-based Sudoku thing going on here. Okay, so all I really need to do is make this one a sun. And this row is good. This row is also good. So then, yeah, so this should be a moon. And this should be a sun. This should be a sun. These two should also be suns. All right. Okay, this is fun. This is fun. If you feeling spicy, right side is your difficulty bar. Okay. Will the levels increase difficulty, or is this the only way to increase difficulty? Like, does each level also get harder? Or are they about the same and then you have to increase the slider? What does this do? Okay, it just creates more unknowns. Cool. So it's like this really is like a symbol-based Sudoku. I kind of like this. This is cool. The feedback when you do it wrong is pretty good. Doesn't really matter which one of these I do. Okay, cool. The only way to... Okay, so the only way to increase the difficulty is to do this. Okay, I see. We're on level 3, so we'll try 0.3. This is slick. Nicely done. What jam was this for? I'm so far only thinking about the rows, but the columns do too, right? Huh. So far, I've managed to play the game by only thinking about rows, but that's probably because I was on such a low difficulty. So there's already 3 moons in this column, so this should be a sun. There's already 3 suns in this column, so this should be a moon. Game Dev JS, you think? Don't even know what jam you made this for? All right, now I'm having to make choices. All right, so there's 3 moons already here, so ideally this would be 2 suns. Okay. This would also ideally be a sun. In which case this needs to be a moon. So this would have to be a sun. I do love the way that the like wave function collapse of playing this kind of game. So this has to be a sun. This should be a moon. Should also be a moon. So then this has to be a sun, and then this has to be a moon. Blam! You do jams just for the theme limitations and to learn. That's a great thing to do. You really got something cool here. Okay. So far, they haven't I haven't been forced to change any of my blue ones. Oh, you can't change the blue ones. Oh, okay, I see, I see. Cool. All right, we'll play one more maybe. Kuvi Man, this game is missing a couple simple sound effects. You might not be able to hear them. There are some little UI sound effects. But I have the sound turned down a lot. Let me crank it up. Oh, that's maybe too much. So there are little bloops. There are little bloops and dupes. But I bet I do agree you could probably turn it up even more. But hey, Kuvi Man. Yeah, sorry. I don't have my audio mixed super great when I'm playing something through Chrome here. This is cool, though. All right, we'll play this last one here. Let's see if I can master difficulty 1/2. All right, I need to make some choices. So this can't be a sun. It has to be a moon. So this also has to be a moon. This can't be a moon. It has to be a sun. So then this is a moon. I kind of get analysis paralysis when I have options, like when it's kind of arbitrary and I could kind of pick whatever I want. So we need one moon and one sun in each of these. But they can't be exactly the same. So let's put the moons here, the sun there. Put the sun here, the moon here, sun here. All right, cool. This is rad. Good job. I'm gonna bookmark this. Because I might play this. I might play this a little more. This is cool. Add to collection. That's what I should do. Oh, I don't want to add it to a new. I just wanted to save it for later. I'm going to follow Revlab. That's probably the good thing to do. So I like puzzle games. I was just saying, Kubi Man, I hate puzzle games. I'm playing Blueprints, and I'm enjoying it, but it's like I almost never play puzzle games. But for you, I would play a puzzle game. I know you have some puzzle games. Hey, Stubenhocker. You made that in 6 hours? Awesome. Awesome job. How are you doing, Steuben? Happy Friday. All right, so we're working on tying up a few loose ends with the selection grid rules because it's still not 100%. So like when we like make our grids, there's still a few things that are misbehaving a little bit when we try to oh. Now it's not working at all. That's new. What did I change? I changed these two. I changed these two functions and somehow I broke everything. Oh, because I added remove. Whoops. We want to say block with form equals block block.form Or oopsies. I want like an add form because I have remove forms. I should probably have an add forms just to simplify that a little bit. You made it open source too? Because there are 6 symbols. Someone might want to make use of it all. What I'm doing looks so crazy. It's 3D and isometric. Yeah, trying to do full 3D using just tile map layers is kind of crazy, admittedly. All right, we're stuck in ads. I'm probably going to go get some water. Okay, I fixed it. All right. So we're selecting again. We've got our selection overlay. What I want to do a couple things. I want this to look correct when we have a selection here. I want the outline to show. And so that probably, that involves doing some stuff. There's probably an easy way to fix that. Let me see if I can fix that here. Enjoy your water. Oh yeah, I was gonna go get some water. Thanks, Arya. Let me go grab that. All right, I'm back with water. The ad should be over. Thank you. Thank you for the hydrate. There was a 2D game that had 3D look. You forgot the name. Well, if you find it, let me know. It's certainly something people have done. But I think nowadays, a lot of the times, you just do it in 3D. Was a colony sim? And it looked 3D, but was only 2D. I mean, Dwarf Fortress. No, yeah, Dwarf Fortress would be good. Would be good. Especially the Steam art version. But that's not isometric. Be right back. Gotta eat. Enjoy your eat. Yeah, I don't want to have to do this block with form equals block or select. I want to hide that behind something. Let's just add a function for that. I want to hide all the bitwise stuff, which is why I have like the remove forms thing, so I don't have to do this. Form with... I don't know what the technical term is for the tilde here, but it's like flip. It's like bit flip, and then flip it back. It's like flip or, and then flip back. I want to hide this stuff. So we'll say public, block, add forms, forms. And then it's going to be forms with form equals form or forms. Why is it not letting me do this here? Cannot resolve symbol form. I'm literally doing that down here. Oh, I need to say this with. All right. That hides some of the weird syntax of it. Without doing much else. But now here we can at least say block dot add forms. We could say include instead or something in. Yeah, whatever. Add is fine. Thanks for playing. Yeah, no worries. Thanks for sharing. All right, let's make sure I didn't break anything. And then we'll move on to the next little adjustment we need to make here. So I really want to understand. I think I have an idea why the selection is not being remembered. All right, just looking at all the line work here, just making sure we're getting kind of what we want. This is reasonably close to what I want in terms of the behavior. I want to sort this out, this awkwardness, this lack of the outline here. I'm a little concerned about how to do it correctly. Just because of how this stuff gets layered. I guess there's not really much we can do about that. It shouldn't matter most of the time. It's only going to matter when you're in the editor tool. That's the only time you're going to be able to make a selection like this and see it retained like this. You're not going to be able to do this during the gameplay. So I think for now it's okay. Ideally, I would have the white outline show up when you cover this floor back up, but that's like quite a bit of work to do. In terms of you would need to start including blocks outside of the selection in the autotiler, and I don't really want to do that. I do kind of want to fix this this thing here, this joint. How would I fix this joint? How would I get this joint to draw correctly? You basically have to be like, okay, is there a block next to us? Cool. But is there a block in front of that block? Not cool. We're not really storing this diagonal block. I can live with it. I think it'd be kind of annoying to incorporate it at this time. And it looks okay, not having the outline there. All right, so next thing is to figure out the mechanism behind either forgetting or not forgetting the selection. So right now, each time I do a new selection, the old selection disappears. But it's not consistent, which tells me it's unintended behavior. Like occasionally it sticks around. So I want to formalize this behavior and make sure that it's working exactly as intended, which involves going to the tool system here. Get rid of the old way the selection worked. Active blocks.clear Oh, we're not storing any of this. Is that the cause? Is there like what is it like if this? So like what if I make a selection, then I do some build. Also, what is going on here in the corner? Yeah, here we go. So some stuff can happen. I think it's yeah, okay. So if I do a selection, then I do a placement and then I do another selection, it's not clearing it correctly. So as part of a selection, we actually need to clear the other selection unless we detect something like a shift. Okay, so that's the problem. So if we do a placement and then a select and then a placement. Oh, it clears the last selection, but that's it. It doesn't clear the history of select. No, that doesn't make sense. It seems to clear some of them, but not all of it. I don't totally understand what's causing this behavior. All right, let's try to clean this up. Let's make this consistent. So what should be happening is whenever we have a new selection in here, so command.arg.begin, what we need to do, we need to add a command.nextstep. Is this the last command reference we have here in this chain? Yeah, so we need to do a command.nextstep for select. So we need to add, if there's a shift key being held, we need to add check to the input handler. So if so begin selection, match game.statusString, edit, game.enqueue, edit tool select core begin. And then what we need to do, well, we need to make this a little more complicated. Or we just have, can we just skip to continue selection? No. Maybe we can. Like if you're holding shift, maybe it just continues. No, because the anchor chords don't change except when we begin. I want to add like an additive. So we need to do something else. We need to say something like variable args equals this. So we need to build the args. And then we can say something like if input dot is I don't want to hard code this, but I'm going to for now. Key code shift. Where's the shift? Key.shift. So if we detect a shift key, then we'll say args.append add. We need to add something regardless, though. Else. This is kind of gross, but this is how I'm going to do it temporarily. Say replace. Right here, so we can say something like Well, let's start by just clearing the selection every time, no matter what. So we're going to say something here like, so we set the anchor chords. Well, we do all this bullshit. We don't need to do this yet. We could say here, we could say unselect inactive blocks. Oh, man, we need to unselect. Oh, we can just say unselect inactive blocks. Should I have a different version of this? So we get non-overlapping. Maybe we should record the selection bounds. Would it be really stupid to have this say void unselect selected blocks? Is that like really dumb? Is that dumb or just verbose? Oh, we don't even want to pass a bounds. Oh, we do want to pass a bounds, but block buffer. Hey, Diginanigans, how's it going? All right, so we're gonna say, get that span. Then we're gonna say for each vector 3i coords in buffer dot AABB index. Then we're gonna say span index equals unselect block. Oh, hold on 1 second, everybody. All right, sorry. I had to bring in a delivery. Oh, I like deselect. I do like deselect better than unselect. Yeah, deselect blocks is good. It's fine. Deselect block. All right, so this now. So what we're going to just do now is we're just going to deselect blocks in buffer. Oh, we want to pass in the bounds because we want this function to be flexible. So we're going to say in bounds, even though the bounds is coming from the buffer. All right, so now we should be guaranteed to be cleaning up after ourselves, which is good. And then if we want other behavior, we can, like if we don't want that to happen, like we want to do shift click stuff. So now whenever I do this, regardless of what the next action is, like I do this, then yeah, okay, good. So now we're always cleaning up. Okay. I don't understand why the corners aren't included, but only sometimes. Oh, I think I might have an idea about this now. It only happens... It seems to be happening when the preview block, when the hover... I actually don't understand why this is happening sometimes. But not all the time. It would be nice if it would happen all the time. What happens if I rotate? Oh, the selection is not rotating. Gotta fix that. And that's not happening because... Buffer.view.aab, we're changing the coords. So why is that not happening? It's a failure of the tile system. We're not converting to relative blocks somewhere. Let me look at the other system here. So here... I like fixed this before in the other selection system, maybe, but I need to fix it again here. And I don't remember... Because we're receiving relative coordinates. So if we're receiving relative coordinates from the tiles.keys, we're getting the actual absolute neighbors. Oh. We actually don't want the absolute neighbors. We want the relative... We actually don't want this, whatever's happening here. Oh, no, we do. No. Yeah, we want the relative neighbors, so I don't know why I'm doing this. Is it this simple? Let's see if it's this simple. Why is this being colored so weirdly? All right, let's see if we are erroneously getting absolute positions when what we actually want are the relative positions. Oh wait, no. So hold on. So we're getting what's relatively to the left. And then we're turning that into, oh no, we're doing this correctly. Because the block buffer is stored in absolute coordinates, not camera relative coordinates. So why does it not work then? So we make this block and we select like half of it. Then we rotate the camera and then this area is still selected. What is happening here? Why is it so much brighter when we try to rotate it? It's like it's being layered multiple times or something. Super weird. I think it's a problem of the drawing. It's not a problem of the storage as far as I could tell, because the storage should be correct. Blockbuffer.aabb.viewAbsolute. Let me look at how we're getting the neighbors over here when we are doing that. So relative position, view relative, get the chords, get it in the relative space. To get the opposite position, you take that relative and then put it in the absolute. And then when it's time, hey, Jacob Dev, how goes it? It's going all right. We're pretty pleased with this new selection overlay that we have when you're laying tiles out and you need to select them. Pretty pleased with this. Our autotiler has a rotational component to it, so we can just rotate things around. Problem is the selection grid is not rotating with it and is behaving quite weirdly, so that's what we're working on right now, is just making that system equally robust for camera rotation. Behaving super weirdly. Oh. It's not even selecting correctly. That's interesting. Maybe it is a problem with the tool. I thought it was just a problem with the rendering, but maybe the tooling is actually wrong as well. So what we do here, does it physically change the tile when selected, or is it overlaying? It's recorded in the block, but yeah, it's just another layer of auto tiling. So it auto tiles what I call the hull, which is like all of the actual parts of the ship, and then it's also auto tiling the selection grid, which I just call the grid, which is just a grid overlay. And I feel like we're going to be using that for a bunch of different things. So like there will probably be like a pathfinding overlay too. So you could see like pathfinding being drawn out or something like that. It's kind of just an overlay grid that we could probably use for a few different purposes. But right now we're only trying to use it for selection boxing. But how are you doing? So placement is robust in the face of... So block placement is totally robust in the face of camera rotation. So if I draw this, and then I rotate it, and then I go over here and draw some more, super robust. And then I rotate it again, draw some more. It is able to keep the stuff straight. It's rotating around the world origin, which I don't love. I would like it to rotate just around its own selection origin. Like its own, like this box should just rotate around itself when that happens, but that's neither here nor there. But for some reason, the selection does not do the same thing. So I just need to spot the difference here. I need to identify the discrepancy between the two systems. We're not like passing in coordinates to this differently, are we? Almost certainly not. Coords. Vector 3i. Let's just double check that we're not doing anything weird. Well, no, I guess the camera, they don't know about that. They don't know about that at this point. Input handler only knows relative space. So we need to relate it back to absolute space. So when we place stuff, we do this. We go through this process. We get the coords out of the command. Whatever, who cares about that? We translate the coordinates into absolute space. So that's the view absolute. Then we do all of our stuff. And we do all of our stuff in absolute space. It doesn't seem to be true for the selection. Coords. So we get the coords exactly the same. We transform it into absolute space exactly the same. Okay, so I don't think the problem is in the tool. I think the problem is in the way we're rendering. I think the tool is handling this correctly. Doing good here. You're just hacking away at stuff. Nice. All right. Yeah, we'll hack at this for another 20 minutes, but I have a work meeting was unscheduled and kind of caught me off guard here. Kind of gonna cut our stream short a little bit, but that's okay. Block equals read-only span, block buffer dot get index key dot. Oh, this is super wrong. Block buffer dot AABB dot view absolute. We're not turning this into absolute space. Before we pull the block out of the simulation data, out of the block buffer, we need to make sure that we're getting the correct... We need to be getting that block in absolute space, not in camera relative space. You start working 20 also. Not a surprise, at least. I would hope not. Yeah, I try. My role is largely a support role, so when people need stuff, I generally have to be accommodating. I'm not usually in a position to be like, sorry. So, it's good. I have a very flexible work schedule, which I'm very grateful for. Like, I'm able to make on-call kind of thing? No. So, I, after some convincing, got my work to agree that I kind of do a split shift thing. Because I work from home most of the time. So, I usually work in the morning at my day job. Then for 3 or 4 hours, there's a gap. So I usually work at my day job for like 3 or 4 hours. Then I have a 3 or 4 hour gap. And then I go back in the afternoon to do another 3 or 4 hours. So depending on meetings, the times, I always have those 3 contiguous blocks, but sometimes they squish and they kind of squeeze out my time a little bit in the middle of the day, which is when I stream. So I'm very lucky that I've been able to get this kind of split shift arrangement. But sometimes work obligations mean I have to, you know, cut it short or, you know, move it around a little bit. Yeah, it is a cool gig. I'm very lucky. All right. This should just work now out of the box. Fingers crossed, everyone. All right, sick. All right. Okay, that was easy. That was just one line of code. I thought we were operating on absolute coordinates, and we were not. We were operating on relative coordinates. But all good now. That was easy. It happens. Your work is funky. You work from home also, but since most people don't wake up till like noon, you start at 1 p.m. Okay. You wake up well before that, so you get a lot of done in the morning, then work when everyone else is around. That's nice. That's nice. I originally was streaming in the morning. I originally did the same kind of thing as you. I'd try to push my workday back as far as the start of my workday back farther, but I work for a company that's like across the US, so we have people that wake up really early and we have people that, you know, are up later. So this actually works out really well, the split shift, because I can handle the stuff in the morning and I can handle the stuff at the end of the day. And then the middle of the day, I have more to myself. Looking great. I think this version of the selection tool is much improved over the last one. I agree, Shenanigans. There's one little behavioral issue. I mean, there's some auto tiling rules that I want to tweak a little bit. I'm not totally pleased with the outlining, but there's one issue that's bothering me, which is that we're not always getting a rectangle. Like right here, the first two, we're getting some weird behavior. Yeah, we're getting... It's not always drawing out like this, which is super weird because the placement, we never see that with the placement thing. Like, it'd be one thing if I saw that here as well, then we would know we have like a problem that's like more general. But for some reason, just the selection thing will do this thing where it's not drawing a rectangle, and it's not even always the middle one or the first one. Yeah, this is super weird. This case is very bizarre. So I need to figure out why this is happening. We should also probably add support for shift selection so that you can additively select. So you can select. It seems to disfavor. It seems to be mostly triggered when the hover block is somewhere in the selection I'm about to make. Let's see what's exactly happening here. Diginanigans, you have a lot of the same work from home flexibility. They don't really care when you work as long as you're available for any meetings and get all your work done. Yeah, that's nice. I wish I could have a regular arrangement like that where it's like even more flexible, but I need to do something like this because I need to make sure that I have that 3 to 4 hour gap in the middle of the day where no one will bother me. Because otherwise, I could be in the middle of a stream here and get a call from someone, and they're like, we need you to hop on this meeting. And it's like, I mean, hop into the chat at twitch.tv/Digital Iliad. Ask me your question there. Maybe I can help you. Like, I don't know what to say. I'm like, I'm busy. So I need a slightly more formalized work schedule, or the streaming doesn't work. You know, because, you know, it takes a while for people to tune in. And I feel like people hop in here after some of the morning people some of the late morning people go offline. I think that's when people start to come in here. And so I want to be able to stream later because that's when I get the good viewership. But some days you just get a meeting you can't say no to, right? Which is why I gotta hop in like 15 minutes. But you do your best. All right, so let's find this last little bug with the tool system. So I want to say that it has to do with the reveal block at in the begin step. Fabulous, Frankie. Thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. Hope you're having a happy Friday. All right, so we actually, the placement, actually, we don't do the reveal block at call in the begin step of a block placement because we've already placed the block in the hover, so we don't want to remove it. So I think that is the source of our problem. The fact that we have to clean up the hover block, the preview block, as it were, which kind of hovers around. Because during a placement, that preview block becomes permanent, because that's the anchor point of our placement, whatever we were previewing before. So we don't mess with it. We just carry on. However, when we're doing a selection, we want to hide that preview block because we are not going to be placing it. Is it possible we're adding a hover command and a select command to the command queue? And so a hover command is like no, that doesn't make sense because that's not what we're observing. What we're observing is that the selection isn't going through in the begin step. So what we probably need to do, actually, we need to deselect blocks there, and then what we need to do here is we need to... we could do select... We need a select blocks function here. right, so what we're going to do is at this begin step, we are going to say select blocks. We need to make a bounds. It's prior chords and AABB. No, it's a vector 3i. What we could do is we could just say new bounds or new, hold on. Calm down, writer. New AABB chords buffer. Let's see if that just fixes the problem. I don't think it will, but let's just see. No, and in fact, it's being weirder. This case is super weird. Maybe it's a failure of this function. If bounds.overlaps buffer, yeah, sure. Vector 3i.min, anchor chords, vector 3i.max, anchor chords. Select only active blocks. Prior bounds. Oh, we're not setting prior bounds. So what we should do is we should say prior bounds. And then down here we can say select blocks. Prior bounds. Actually, we might not even need to do this part. Okay, almost there. We've reduced some of the weird cases. Okay, so the follow-up cases are handled. So now we're only seeing this corner missing, but we're seeing it every time. That is weirdly an improvement. So what we actually want to do is we want to then say select blocks, new AABB, chords, buffer. Here we actually want to say if not, or we want to say if not command.next.step is add. So if we don't want to add, or if command.nextstep is not equal to add, then we want to deselect the last. Crash? No? Okay. All right, I think we fixed it. I think we always get a rectangle now. And then what if I start shifting? So what if I do this and then additively... Oh, and we've got additive selections. And if I stop using shift click, we go back to replacing. Well, that was easy. All right, so we have consistent selections. Just make a little playground here for a second. Make sure everything looks okay. So if we do this and then I start shift clicking, we can add to the selections. We start rotating the camera. Everything is still good. All right, I think we've stabilized this whole thing. I think we're getting the behavior we want. All right, and not a moment too soon, because I need to get ready to go back to work here. All right, we achieved our goals. Ship it. Get Brianna Journey. That's all we wanted to do here, and we did it. Oh, that's not looking right. But I actually understand why that's happening. I actually might need to mess with the z-indexing of the selection a little more to get it to render over stuff. I guess I don't want it to be too much. Like if I did this and then I did this and then I put, if I increased the z-indexing of this at all, it would render in front of this, which I don't want. All right. Okay. That's not a problem for another day. Some of the z-indexing stuff I'm seeing. It's very subtle, but it's a couple of issues. All right. Very pleased. We're very pleased with the progress today. We'll be back tomorrow, Saturday. Hopefully we'll finally get a long stream. Maybe I'll try to make it extra long to make up for it, but no promises. All kind of depends on when I can get some chores done in the morning or errands. We still got to do door compatibility, so we'll add compatibility with the door. We'll do that tomorrow. Thanks for the stream. Good luck with work. Thank you, Jacob Dev. Hope you have a good weekend, everybody, and maybe I'll see some of y'all tomorrow. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye.